couple other on the Mideast. Yesterday you got some questions obviously about the American journalist who is being held by terrorists in Yemen. And on one of them you were asked, one of those questions you were asked whether there were delays. And since, at the time I understand yesterday you said some of this is still classified. Since then there have been more reports laying out more information suggesting there were some delays here. Was it a hesitation inside the White House to move forward and try to get him, or were there problems, gaps in the intelligence that justifies waiting?
Well, there are still some significant limits on what I can say about what is still a classified operation. But what I would reject in the strongest possible terms was that there was any delay here at the White House in approving this mission. Once the intelligence and the concept of operations had been developed by military planners and approved by the Secretary of Defense, it was forwarded to the White House. And while at the White House, it did go through an interagency process that was as rigorous as you would expect it would be. There was careful consideration about the risk that this operation would pose for our men and women in uniform. There was careful consideration of the intelligence. There was careful consideration of the kind of diplomatic equities that are involved. There are important questions that are raised when an operation like this is taking place in a foreign country. There are important diplomatic questions that are raised when there's the potential that some of those who may be rescued are of a different nationality, are citizens of another country. There are important equities raised when it comes to either killing or even capturing extremists. And so thinking through all of those things is something that is important, that's consistent with the way that the process worked in previous administrations. And it's not something that only involves White House personnel. It involves, as I mentioned, defense, intelligence, diplomatic channels, and others. So there was careful interagency consideration that was given to this plan after it was signed off on by the Secretary of Defense. But I can tell you that it was something that was approved by the Commander-in-Chief after that review in much less than 48 hours.
Last one.